story. Welcome back to today's story. Penelope Pip, a girl with bright red pigtails and an even brighter spirit, skipped into Quillhaven Library. It wasn't just any library. You see, it was ancient, filled with towering shelves and the scent of old paper. Penelope loved Quillhaven. It felt like a place where anything could happen. Today, however, felt different. A strange stillness hung in the air. The librarian, Mrs. Willowbrook, a kindly woman with spectacles perched on her nose, wasn't at her usual post. Penelope frowned. Something wasn't right. She wandered deeper, her hand trailing along the spines of the countless books. She called out, "Hello, Mrs. Willowbrook, are you here?" Suddenly, a tiny voice chirped, "Psst, over here, you tall thing." Penelope gasped and looked down. Perched on a copy of The Dragon's Hoard was a bookworm, but not just any bookworm. This one wore spectacles and a tiny top hat. "I'm Barnaby Bumble," the bookworm announced, adjusting his spectacles. "And we, my dear, are in a spot of bother." He pointed a tiny book-covered finger towards a dark patch spreading on the nearby wall. "That, Penelope, is the Shadow Blot, and it's hungry for stories." Penelope stared at the spreading darkness. "The Shadow Blot? What does it do?" she asked, her voice trembling. "It erases stories. It sucks the life out of books and turns them into blank pages," Barnaby explained, his voice frantic. "And worse, it traps people inside those blank pages. Mrs. Willowbrook, she tried to stop it, but..." His voice trailed off. "We have to stop it, Barnaby. But how?" Penelope asked, determination hardening her features. Barnaby hopped off the book. "The books here, Penelope, are more than just stories. They are doorways." "Doorways?" Penelope questioned, her eyes wide. "Yes, to the worlds within their pages," Barnaby exclaimed. "We need the Sunstone of Everbright. It's the only thing that can banish the Shadow Blot. It's hidden within the story of the Crystal Caves. But the blot has already started to corrupt that world." He fluttered his tiny wings, impatient to begin. "We must hurry, Penelope. Mrs. Willowbrook is counting on us, and so are all the stories. Are you ready to jump into an adventure?" Penelope took a deep breath. "Ready," she declared, grabbing the Crystal Caves book. As she touched the cover, the room shimmered, and the library disappeared. She and Barnaby found themselves standing at the entrance to a glittering cave. Crystals of all shapes and sizes lined the walls, but a strange, gray film was creeping across them, dulling their sparkle. "We need to find the Crystal Guardian," Barnaby said, pointing with his tiny leg. "He knows the way to the Sunstone." They ventured deeper into the cave, dodging falling crystals corrupted by the Shadow Blot. The air grew colder and heavier. Suddenly, a gruff voice echoed through the caverns. "Who dares disturb the Crystal Guardian?" A giant, crystalline golem emerged from the shadows. His form was magnificent, but his eyes were clouded with gray. "We need the Sunstone of Everbright," Penelope called out, trying not to sound scared. "The Shadow Blot threatens to consume Quillhaven Library." "Story," the Crystal Guardian groaned. "The blot, it has reached even here," he rumbled. "I cannot give you the Sunstone. The blot has weakened me. But," he paused, his crystalline face creasing, There is a hidden passage, guarded by the whispering echoes. Solve their riddle, and they will guide you to the Sunstone. He pointed a massive finger towards a dark alcove. Beware, their riddles are tricky, and their voices can deceive. Penelope and Barnaby cautiously approached the alcove. As they stepped inside, disembodied voices swirled around them. We are the Whispering Echoes. To pass, you must answer our riddle. I have cities, but no houses, forests, but no trees, and water, but no fish. What am I? The voices echoed and repeated, making it hard to concentrate. Barnaby tapped his tiny foot, deep in thought. Penelope looked around the alcove, searching for a clue. The pressure was on. Every second counted. Penelope suddenly remembered something from Mrs. Willowbrook's geography class. "A map!" she shouted. The echoing voices immediately stopped. A hidden door in the alcove wall swung open, revealing a narrow passage. "Correct!" a chorus of voices cheered. "You may pass." Penelope and Barnaby exchanged relieved glances and hurried through the passage. It led them to a small chamber where the Sunstone of Everbright rested on a pedestal. The Sunstone pulsed with a warm, golden light. As Penelope reached for it, a shadowy hand shot out and snatched it. A figure emerged from the darkness, a gaunt, shadowy creature, the embodiment of the Shadow Blot. "You cannot stop me," it hissed. "Soon, all stories will be mine." Penelope gasped. The creature raised the Sunstone, preparing to extinguish its light. This was their last chance. Barnaby, without hesitation, launched himself at the creature's face, nipping at its shadowy nose. "Distraction tactic!" he squeaked. The creature stumbled, dropping the Sunstone. Penelope dove forward, grabbing the stone just before it hit the ground. The golden light filled her hands. "Be gone, Shadow Blot!" she cried, holding the Sunstone high. A beam of pure light erupted from the stone, striking the creature. It shrieked and dissipated into nothingness. The crystal cave began to glow with renewed brilliance. The gray film vanished, and the crystal sparkled like a million stars. Penelope and Barnaby found themselves back in Quillhaven Library. The shadow blot on the wall had disappeared, and Mrs. Willowbrook was back at her desk, smiling. "You did it!" she exclaimed. "You saved the stories!" Penelope and Barnaby grinned at each other, exhausted but triumphant. They knew their adventure in the whispering shelves of Quillhaven was just the beginning. Thank you for listening. See you in the next story.